computer. I'm gonna give you a little message. I'm gonna do something fancy today and share my screen with you. So be very impressed that I'm doing some technology things. I think everybody kind of needs this today. A couple of people are gonna either hop on and not have their video on or watch the replay, but I know.
And I'm trying to prep there.
Even like the weather. It's hard to like.
Horrible.
Is it pouring where you're at too?
It was, but it's not now.
Yeah. And allergies and just
life.
Oh, look at that thing. How does this is that dog new?
We got her like in February, the middle of February.
Oh yeah, fairly new.
It's Ada's dog.
Is that as big as she's gonna get, or he?
She'll get a little bit bigger.
Yeah,
I think like 10 pounds maybe. She's an Aussie Doodle.
Aussie Doodle. Wow, I totally got that wrong. That was totally wrong. Cute. So tell me, there's got to be wins. I know it's you might struggle finding some wins, but there's got to be some wins. Share with me what those are.
Oh my goodness. I am more mindful of my eating. It's still not great, but I'm more mindful of it for sure.
Good. What else?
Oh, that might be it.
I think your check-in, you were even down on the scale, but not on measurements, which is interesting.
Right.
What's your biggest challenge? I'm going to share a screen while you're telling me this. And that's not what. How do I get this?
My biggest challenge is making, like today, it's like, oh, I don't want to go outside. It's gross and cold and wet. Like just like making myself get up and go.
Because you work from home.
Right. Like I'm tidy, I'm comfy.
Yeah.
I mean, once I get there, like I'm good, but it's just getting out the door.
Yeah, and it's almost like getting comfortable with the being uncomfortable. And I'm a part of this group that is bodybuilding for women over 40. That's just a super specific, but it's a client who's part of our group. So Leslie, she invited me in that. She's like, you'd love this group. And there's posts all the time in this, and everybody deals with the same stuff. Like there's challenges on so many levels, but someone said something the other day that said it's just about getting comfortable with the discomfort, and that the results are worth more than the comfort you have staying where you are. And that takes just that getting out the door and just almost getting mad, like almost just saying, you know what, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to. What would you tell your child? You know, they didn't want to get up. What do you tell your kids when they're like so cozy in bed and they don't want to get out of bed for school? Well, you don't
have a choice.
You don't have a choice.
Go to school.
Yeah. And you don't have a choice. And think of all of the things that you want to accomplish, and think of the things that you won't accomplish if you don't go do it day after day after day, because that is what it takes, is that day after day after day. So I thought about things and I was like, you know what do I do? Because it's not about motivation. Motivation, forget it. You're just not going to get motivated. But, you know, first of all, you have to choose your hard. Is it hard being where you're at physically and unhappy and uncomfortable in your own skin and possibly low energy and just don't like what you see? That's hard. That's hard to live with, right? So what would you like to do? And if it takes putting a Post-it note on your computer that says choose your hard, do you want this or do you want that? Choose it every single day what it is. And it's a daily choice. But then I also thought of, what do I do to help motivate myself to get out there? Sometimes it's setting a picture on my phone of what I want, like a goal, look, a deadline, and I'll put reminders in my phone, like so many days until this deadline, maybe a vacation, maybe a reunion. I know someone is going to be doing a class reunion, her 30-year class reunion. She's like, oh, I have 8 weeks. And I'm like, we can do a lot in 8 weeks, but you've got to like buckle down and don't let time run out, because you can't change the date of that. You can't change the date of the reunion, right? So think of maybe a date that can put pressure on you so that you don't just keep kicking that can down the road. That's a big reason why I like doing shows. I sign up for them. Let me let her in. Shit. I gotta let her in, and then I'll go back to sharing. Wrong one. Hi, Kathy. So I used to do things like that. Now I just kind of, hi, Kathy, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So now I have things literally on my wall. You can see behind me, I have that literally on the wall of my bedroom. And it's not necessarily great bedroom decor. I don't care.
Right.
And then I have the, you didn't wake up today to be a weak ass bitch in my bathroom. And I know that's kind of crass, but it's just like for me, it's like me talking to me in the mirror. And it's like, I definitely did not. I had to get to the gym at 6 a.m. to train someone. And I just make those appointments because it gets me out the door, gets me going, gets me dressed. I sometimes, when I'm really feeling lack of motivation, I go to bed in my workout clothes. Like they're comfortable. So it's not like I'm like in uncomfortable clothes. You know, I might like leave the bra off and just have my leggings and my top on so that like I don't really have to do much when I get up, and then I don't have time to talk myself out of that. Another big thing, and I'm curious to see how Kathy is doing, because she's chosen to get up early in the morning because she likes to have her evenings to herself and her family, is choosing a consistent time that you train, because then you're just going to create this habit of, this is just what I do at this time. And I know you've got habits like that on other things. I mean, you have to have a family. You have to have a pretty consistent dinner time, a pretty consistent wake up time and bedtime and bath time and all of that. So creating that time for yourself, if you can, especially with your job, is going to be really important. And literally like schedule it out in your calendar. And it makes it feel more official. And like, it will keep you from accidentally booking over it, like a call or whatever it is with work, or yeah, I could squeeze you in during my lunch break. Nope, lunch break's protected because that's when I go take care of me. And then I'd already said something about having a countdown, which I think is really, like, I'm looking for a countdown. I have a countdown. We'll do a vacation in July. I definitely don't feel bathing suit ready. I don't want to start a cut right now, but there will be a time where I start a cut and I like get a little bit more tight in what I do. So there's going to be a point in time where that I have the plane booked, everything's booked, no moving it. That is very helpful. And then take one time a week, one treat meal a week, and make it with intention. Like pick what you are going to have and really build it up, really get excited about it. It will keep you on point with other things, because then you just know that you're going to be getting, you have this plan, and it makes it so much better when you plan it with intention and with positive like excitement. I know I think about my next treat meal at the end of my last treat meal. I'm like, okay, what next? That was really good. What did I like about that? Are we going to do this, or what have I not had in a while that I'd really enjoy? And it could even be just a dessert because I will only do one or the other, or a little bit of both. It just depends. So just please always make sure you have those treat meals, especially if you're staying on point with your diet. It makes a difference for your mental, for sure. And then something else, and I know we might hesitate to do this and we just kind of are lone rangers in our house sometimes. I know I felt like that a lot, is let your family know what you're doing to help encourage them to support you. So I'll talk to my kids and be like, nope, I'm doing this and this is for how long. It's kind of like that accountability. You either post it to your family or text it to a group of ladies that you have, or whoever, if it's the people in your household that's who you are with all the time, share it even with your kids. Be like, no, mama's going to do this. This is what I'm doing. And then they'll be like, oh, okay. And mama could use a lot of encouragement on this, because this is very important to me. And I encourage you on the things that are important to you. And it will put a level of importance, and like they get to do something for you. And I have found my kids really like to be able to support me in that. And then they get really curious. So then what does that do? That gives you a new level of accountability, because those kids are watching you. And so when you tell them, I have this goal, and whether it's I'm going to go to the gym every day this week at my lunch break, or I'm going to have this set goal by this date. If it's a more longer term, I say go with shorter term goals, because those are just a little bit easier to bite off and gain some momentum and get some traction. So those are just some of the little tricks that I have used to help pull me out of a funk when I just feel like all last week, Angie, you're not the only one. Like all last week, I was so tech wrecked. It's to the point, I don't know how y'all do this work on computer like all day, every day, to a point I had to just hire someone. I just broke down. I'm like, forget it. I have got, and it worked out well, but I didn't get my workouts in, and I literally felt like a piece of me was missing. I did not feel like myself. I didn't feel energized. I didn't feel in like a great mood. I had a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear, a lot of just like stuff that I have not dealt with in so long. And the one thing that changed was my frequency of how many times I worked out that week. Like I did one, maybe two, if I can remember. I did the live. I know I did that Thursday morning. That was the first one I did in a while. And then it kind of like triggered me to do another one Friday and be like, no, I am doing one, even though I have a load of work that I've got to do at home. And I would rather put what relieves my anxiety the most is what I would ask myself. And I thought it was work on my stuff.
On this.
Oh. Can you guys still hear me?
I can.
Okay. I just had a message that it went to my AirPods.
They're not.
They're nice on the
Okay.
screen. You sounded
Okay.
different for a second, but you are sounding the same
Now I'm good. Okay. It just popped up again and now it's good. Okay. All right. Weird. So I feel you, but I definitely know that if I let that go on too long, then it's going to be that much harder to get back on the train. So, those are a couple of things that I do, but also, a few tricks. I just kept thinking of ways, and I made this really quick because I was just like, everybody gets there. Everybody has those ebbs and flows of consistency. It's never motivation. You're just not going to be motivated. It's hard stuff. Like there is a payoff, but you have to look at the payoff in a different way. I'm doing something for me and I feel good, and it does something for my mental, and eventually that physical is going to start paying off. You're going to start noticing those changes. Other people then at some point are going to notice those changes, and then people who come across you only very, very few times a year are going to notice, like it just keeps spreading out in your circle. And someone had told me the other day, it was really interesting. They're like, your results today are from what you did 90 days ago. And because I was having a panic attack, basically, I was like, I got to get this, I got to do that. And like, I haven't been able to wrap my mind around that. And it's a lot of admin stuff. It's just a lot of stuff that's not my strength. So it's like, I've been kind of putting it off and almost, procrastinating on it. And then it's like, don't wait till you're in a panic. Don't wait to do these things when you have 3 weeks left of a vacation, coming around the corner, or like I said, that, gal having that reunion, you just can't not wait. You've got to start now and just know that it is a daily thing. But I put plaques, like I said, around my house of motivation. I will do if you like doing devotionals, do those, but then also some podcasts. If you find some good podcasts, I will, and this sounds funny, but I follow a lot of like good content on TikTok and people who work out, but like had a pretty big obstacle, like had either some physical ailment, a disease, illness, maybe a whole lot of weight to lose, like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds to lose. And in their journey, watching them, because a lot of people put that stuff on there, it motivates me. But when I watch it is not when I should be working out. It's while I'm on a cardio machine, while I'm heading to, a certain spot. I don't take time out and only do that, because then I can say to myself, I'm watching TikToks and spending time on social media when I need to be more consistent in this area. So I need to trade this time for the area I need to pick up the pace on. And then you guys are sending in your check-ins as consistently as you can. Tracking your progress is going to be huge. I go back, and how you get, if you have an iPhone, how you get those a year ago today, or 2 years ago today, 3 years. And sometimes a progress, something that I took comes up, and I'm just like, oh, wow, look at where I was 3 years ago, or look at where I was 5 years ago. And it's really interesting because you don't see the changes as much day in and day out. And that's challenging, but you will. Those pictures, even the ones you've sent since you started with me, Angie, are like, I will put a side by side together for you.
Okay.
I will, because they're very different. They're very different. And I know it's like you want it now, or you wanted it yesterday, but you are still far from where you were. And so that alone should motivate you. Also the workout partner thing. I know, Kathy, you've been going to the gym with your daughter. How has that gone? Tell me a little bit about that.
It's going well. So we went for our second workout yesterday, and Peyton is liking it. And the trainer that we're using, she's definitely pushing us harder now, so that was good. And pushing Peyton harder as well, which was good. But yeah, we like her. It's
Are they hour sessions or 30 minutes?
It's just a half an hour. So that's why I was still doing my own workouts, because this was just a half an hour.
Yeah.
Just quick. So
yeah. You're like, I can do this.
I got this. Need to do more.
I've been doing a little bit more than that. Yeah. Good. I think it's really good to get that person, that partner. I know you live kind of out in a rural area, Angie. Is there a girlfriend? Is there anybody that would meet you and do that with you?
Not really anyone that could go like during the middle of the day. Because I go usually like, at an odd time during the workday. So.
And that's your only time you can go, is during the workday?
Really, yeah.
Okay. Well, the coaching also is helpful.
I get kids, and then it's.
Is your husband there available to help with the kids if you can go run and do your thing and then come back and like start dinner and stuff like that after work? Is he work late days?
Well, I'm 30 minutes away. Like I go to the gym in Crane and I live in Chesapeake. So I'm 30 minutes away.
It's a 30-minute drive.
Yeah.
Why don't you do stuff at home? Is that too hard to do at home? That's a lot. That's a 30-minute drive one way or just all together.
Well, I drive 30 minutes to bring the kids to school every day.
And then, but then after
Then
that,
I stay at
you come
then
home.
I'm in Crane all day. I stay at my mom's all day in Crane until kids are out of school.
So
and the
you're not
gym that I go
30
to
minutes from, right. Okay.
So like right now
Gotcha.
I'm 5 minutes from the gym. But if I were to go home
Yep.
and leave kids, then that's another hour.
So are you at your mom's right now?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. I was like, you said you were cozy. Your mom's is cozy.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
cozy in the cabin.
Would she be willing to be like an accountability to where she says, nope, you go now. Lunchtime, this is where your break is. Would she be open to that?
I don't know. Half the time she's not even here.
Oh,
She's retired and runs all over the place.
Well, I can also do that. We can set an alarm and I can be like, go, leave now, put the pen down, put the computer down now. And it's just, it's just setting those parameters in those guidelines in your life. When you work from home, and you both know this, and I do too, you have to be so diligent with your time management. Like it is just everything else is looking at you in the face. Luckily, you kind of are at your mom, so you're not at your house.
Right.
That helps maybe a little bit, like, this ain't my mess. I'm not cleaning this.
Right. That's not my laundry. Yeah.
Yeah. Not my laundry. Yeah. I would feel a little better doing it like that too. So yeah, that would help as well. Just setting an alarm, like 15-minute heads up, you got to leave in 15 minutes. So wrap up what you're doing.
Right.
Also something that's helped me, and I now have the kitchen all to myself, is I just make my food prep really easy and to where it's not complicated. So like, if we need to change your meal plan or whatever, I've told you both, let me just give a friendly reminder. The macros are the more important part, like the protein, the carbs, the fats, right? The other stuff, like the free macros, that's totally up to you and what you throw in there and what you don't throw in there. It's good to throw that in there because it is the fiber and it is the good vegetables that we need to get our vitamins and minerals from. But we can do as much as that as we want. That's not going to count as a macro. So as long as you get that macro in, does your mom keep like things that are tempting at her house to eat? Or are you able
to? Hey girls, you're home from school. Do you want to make chocolate chip cookies?
Yeah. And that's your cue to go to the gym. I'll be like, okay, you guys are going to be busy. I'm going to go to the gym. That would be a challenge. Maybe you can put some of those cookies aside for your treat meal and be like, I am going to enjoy these girls, but only when I have my treat meal, and like plan it. Because they're going to be like, mommy, taste this. This tastes so good. Look what we made. Yeah, that can be a challenge, but making food prep really easy and just not overcomplicating it is going to be a huge, huge key. I feel better when I'm prepping for like a show because it's more minimal. It's very minimal food. So I don't have a lot to prep. I can just break off the asparagus, put the chicken in there, get the sweet potato, and that's my meal. And that it gets very, very simple when you do that. And then what can get more complicated and not tracked are your treat meals. So if you can make that like mental shift. Sorry, I'm a little stuffy. I just neti potted my face before I feel like it's just like, I hear myself in my head, dealing with some allergies. But yeah, that would be a really good way. I keep everything in a certain, we kind of are like organizational freaks over here. Jasmine, she'll like line things up. She loves watching those organizational videos and stuff, which is a blessing. So it's nice to just have everything really nice and tidy. And I cleared out a whole cabinet and just made it what I needed it to be. So it's easy to grab. And I'm not, it needs to be easy for me to do it consistently. I just don't like, I don't like hard. It just needs to be very very fluid. So that's a really, and then let's just get real here, guys. Like, don't buy things at the grocery store that are tempting. Just don't do it. I do the grocery shopping, so I have the control over it. The family will be just fine. They will be good. They're not going to miss, they may miss it, but they'll be just fine. They're going to get over it really, really fast. If it's a temptation, if it's that bad of a temptation for you, just don't buy it. Or give it to them and say, put it somewhere I can't find it.
Right.
I just told Pilot loves Nutter Butters. And like, I bought you some, but you just put it in your room. And he doesn't go overboard, so I can trust him to do that. If you can't trust your kids to not go overboard, then just don't buy it, and then they'll get used to it being more of a treat instead of a necessity. And it'll be good to train them on eating good ways. And it is okay to ask your family for that support. How I know, Kathy, your husband's like, do whatever you want. I'm fine. He's supportive. Has it been, how's the support in your household? Kathy?
He's, so everyone is fine about whatever I want to eat. So I like, then for dinners, I just make my food and then I just make them like, extra potato or noodle or something.
Right.
Something like that. So they're fine with that. And they really didn't care when I was going to work out, except for when I started to try to work out in the morning, because then everybody was like, I heard you at 6 a.m. Sorry.
Oh,
The
well.
only time I started hearing complaints was, I got woken up. And I'm like, well, shut your door.
Yeah, shut your door. Everyone, I mean, my family like locks their door, puts some blankets underneath. They don't want to hear sound because we're so close to one another. We're very close quarters.
Yep.
So I can't
Other than
imagine.
that, they don't, they're not like,
Cheerleading you
they're
on.
helpful, but they're not like an impediment either. So I
Okay.
don't buy any of that, like junk and stuff like that, but Ron will go to the grocery store and buy it. So, but he is also lazy about going to the grocery store. So,
So good.
So periodically we get a lot of junk in the house, and I just don't even look to see what was brought in, and
Yeah.
that helps.
Yeah. Put your blinders on. Just go. I got
Yep.
goals. I got goals.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it really is just kind of like a buckle down and what do I want more? It's a question you ask yourself every day. Sometimes I have to journal myself into going to the gym or getting on a stricter regimen. I feel like summer's coming and I'm like a little nervous about it because I was like, then we're not going to be as regimented and Jasmine's going to be here all the time. And then what, like I'm going to have to get her used to a new kind of schedule and expectations. But to be really transparent, my kids are I have a very wide range of ages. So 8 still needs a lot of attention and help and things. But as the boys have gotten older, I've got almost 15, 16, and then Reese is 21. And they are getting less maintenance and less maintenance. And I really, really appreciate that. And what that's done to my relationship with them is it's put me not necessarily out of the parent zone or like the caretaker zone. I'm not as much that as I am now, like their coach, their life coach. And I really like that role that I'm now playing. Like they can do their own laundry. They're taking care of their meals. They're very, very self-sufficient. In the mornings, they get themselves totally ready. And they've been doing that for a while. But something that I find a lot of people, I'm not calling anyone out, but this has just been as a coach, what I have experienced with moms is we do too much. We do way, way, way too much for our kids. And I've got to get real here. You cannot keep doing stuff for them to avoid the stuff that you need to do for you. And there's such an easy excuse. So easy. And your husband's not going to avoid there. He's not going to talk you out of that, because that means he doesn't have to do it. Right. So it might mean that there's a little more responsibility put on him and your kids, but that is not a bad thing. And there's particular situations that I can think of off the top of my head, none present here now, that it's a serious health issue going on. And it's just the heels are dug in, and there's nothing I can do. I got to do this. I got to do that for them. And all my free time goes to them. And they're both of driving age. So we use our kids a lot and our spouses a lot as an excuse to not be able to reach that potential, because then we got to sit with ourselves and we've got to really look at, like, okay, now I don't have that obstacle in the way. What obstacle can I throw in to keep me from having to do this thing I don't want to do? And if that's the mindset, you're definitely not going to reach those goals. It's going to have to be, I'm going to protect me at all costs. If that means I've got to get a schedule going to where I'm going to teach my kids how to do X, Y, Z, so that I don't have to do that for them. And then that time that I took doing that for them, I'm going to take doing this for me. And it doesn't necessarily mean it is working out. It could mean food prep. It could mean journaling and sitting with yourself. Having a meal plan and a workout split is just half of it. The other half of it is your mind, is your energy around the situation. And if you can't get that right, then you might as well not have a meal plan and a workout split. Really, you might as well just not have it. And I have definitely been working on that myself in the areas that I'm working on in my own business and in my brand and those things. I've got to get my head right. I can place all of these practical, applicable things in my business and then crickets. I could feel that if I don't have a mindset of abundance and like there's not this fear or this anxiety around whatever topic that it is. So our mindset is super huge, and that really has to come first. Our body is not going to go where our mind does not take it. And so if it is our mind and it is our heads and energy around this, we've got to get down to the bottom of why, and then start making some practical changes in our daily so that we can do that. I know another more situations off the top of my head where sometimes, and it's unfortunate, our biggest obstacle is our family, because they're just not in the same headspace. It's not their body. It's not their health, right? They're not the one getting up in the morning and putting those clothes on and saying, damn, I have nothing that fits me. They're not feeling that. They're not feeling those insecurities and those uncomfortable, tight, hitting you here and there, and then having to wear the same thing over because it's the only thing that fits you. And these are just scenarios that I know of through my years of coaching that I have come across, and so you've got to pick your hard. Is it hard to live like that? Is it hard to keep feeling those feelings and beating ourselves up and talking to ourselves like you aren't doing what you should do, and then beating ourselves up? Or are we just saying, okay, I'm miserable now and I'm going to be miserable to some level going and doing this, but at least there's a means to the misery when you go and work out and take care of yourself. Because I guarantee you within 10-15 minutes, tell me if this is not true, within 10 or 15 minutes of your workout, do you start to feel better? Do you start having those endorphins released and you start being like, I never walk away from the gym saying, damn, I wish I hadn't have done that.
For sure.
It's something I would never regret. And regret is something we do not have a luxury of. in life. And then I also think of this example that I'm setting for my kids. My kids don't necessarily know email funnels and this and that and promo and all of that. They don't know all of the ins and outs of that, but they see me grinding. They see me doing this. And I had a conversation the other day with someone else. Pilot was a part of it. And he was like, oh my gosh, he's like, you have no idea. My mom is grinding at this, grinding in a good way, like working hard. And I'm like, wow, I didn't even know he was aware of that, because he's probably my most unaware child of all of them. He like doesn't even know what is going on around him. I could chop my hair off and he would not know it. But
I have one of those.
yeah. It's like, okay, it has to smack him in the face for them to get it. But then I was like, wow, he's like, he really sees that. And what I'm seeing in my oldest, Reese, we had some really rough years in the end of his teenage years. Like it was really rough. And I thought, dear God, help this boy. I don't know what else to do. But now that he's on his own, and it won't happen if he doesn't do it, he takes good care of himself. He eats well. He works out. He goes to the gym regularly, and he's growing a business, and he's about to be a father. Like there's so many things going on that I'm like, I know he learned all of this from just watching how I lived. I didn't necessarily preach it to him, but he just watched it. And your kids watch you more than you know. And it's like, it's a little scary. It's like, oh, do what I say, not as I do, or leave that part out. The potty mouth thing, I'm terrible. I'm like, Jasmine, you can't say that word, but I can. But she's watching, and she's going to apply these same things when she gets old enough to where it's like, well, it's just all I know. Is this any of this resonating with you guys? What kind of feedback can you give me here?
Oh, it's all definitely true about families not intentionally sabotaging you, but
yeah.
And one of the reasons I don't try to work out at home very often is they won't leave me alone. It's like, you're not allowed to have
you time
30 minutes to yourself without, right. It's like, they always want something. And I'm like, your dad's right there. Go.
Yeah.
He can do the same thing that I can do.
Yeah. And how old are your kids again?
8, and Lakin just turned 6.
Yeah. Not 6-year-olds tough still, because they're like old enough, but then they're like still want mom.
Right.
Yeah. I get that. In school, but like just now starting school. Yeah, it is a challenge, and it's a challenge, a little bit maybe challenging, more challenging in the beginning until you like are it's just like a boundary. It's just like setting that boundary with just anybody in your life, and they like, kids are the worst. They really push until they see like, oh, okay, this is a pretty strong boundary. I don't think we're going to get past this, but that's their job. That's like what they're born to do, I guess, is to push that boundary and to see how strong it is. But I hear you. Going away out of the house is sometimes my only break. Like I need
Right.
that. I need to get away. And then don't worry about, like, I'm going to do a free training again on Friday. Like Kathy and I talked about this. And yes, it was in your 12-week program, but this is an evolving practice, and you change as this goes, and you absorb things differently from a different receptive point, right? So the things that maybe you heard in the beginning of the 12-week, you could hear, and it resonate differently with you now. Right. That you have been applying a lot of these principles and these actions to your daily life. So I've had an inspiration also. Kathy had inspired it as well in a conversation we had last week with the training, and just like, I want you to look forward to it. I want you to have intention, because you can't just go through the motions and then expect these results. There really has to be a mental element to it. And I'm going to go heavily into that. There's going to be 5 major components of what I'm going to talk about in training. And the first one is going to be a very practical, but very important part about fueling yourself. And did you fuel yourself? Because just the other day, I had somebody have to stop their workout early because we weren't properly fueled. Getting sick, lightheaded, not prepared. And so, yeah, you're not gonna, that's not just not gonna get you your results, but that's gonna make you like not want to do it because it made you feel that crappy and bad. And that's not what it's meant to do. But she was working, I was training her, and we were going hard enough that her fuel was not sufficient for what we were doing. So it's a lesson you learn, hard lesson to learn, but you only learn that once or twice, and then you make sure you're fueled pretty good. And then where you're at mentally, sometimes going into the gym is just about getting that mental break. And it's your therapy. It's just blowing off that stress. If you have a high stress job, do you guys have a high stress job? Yeah,
Not for the most part. I mean, occasionally, but
occasionally.
Yeah, there's sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes.
Like ebbs and flows, the beginning and ends of quarters and things like that.
Yeah, certain times of the year. What about, would you say your job or your family are give you more stress?
my
Or is it
family.
people? Your my family. She's like, duh. I hear you.
It's like probably family, yes, that's true.
You think so? Family. Yeah, isn't that
Probably.
crazy?
Mhm.
You think that would be like your safe haven in your zone, and you're like, you people are always here. I need you to get some life. I need you to get a hobby. Go find something to do. Go find a best friend. So we're going to talk a lot about just your mindset when we go into training. Because it can't just be like do. Okay, boom, done. It just cannot be that way. And then it's also, what are you training that day? If you don't have a plan on what you're going to do that day, you're not going to feel like going into the gym. There is a specific workout split that you can choose. I can help create that for you. I can get more dialed in with you if you have not done that already with what you're training that day. And then you do that consistently, because then you don't have to think about it when you get there. It's just chosen for you. And you plan it strategically based on, what did I do yesterday? Am I sore? Can I perform what I need to do today? Like, there needs to be a thought process behind what you're doing when you go in. And then, like, when you're working out, are you feeling it in the place you're supposed to be feeling it? And that's a great question. If you don't know where you're supposed to be feeling it, that's a problem. And I talk a lot about them on the videos, like whenever I give a workout split, and then there should be a link. And then that link is a video of me talking about it. I also, early on in the 12-week program, went into depth on upper body moves, lower body moves, which apply to everything. But it's always good to get that reminder and that refresher. And like I said, you guys are different people now than you were when you first started the program. And so it's going to be absorbed more now, because you're going to be like, oh yeah, I get that, because I was doing that. I do this every time I go and work this part of my body. So it's just going to sink in deeper and deeper, or we're going to just peel the layers down on the training. And if we can get some more intention with the training, then it's going to get more consistent, because you're going to know more of what you're doing. You're going to be more confident. You're going to start falling more in love with the process and enjoying what it's doing for your body. You're going to be getting stronger. You're going to know you're getting stronger because you're going to be more aware of what you're doing in the gym, on how much you use when you do certain moves. Can I go a little bit harder? How are the last 3 reps? Those types of things. And there's still tons of stuff I can talk about on that. I will record it, but I will go live in the group And it's going to be something I think very much worth tuning in for, because it's just a big part of it. So I know the training will be a good training on training. I meant the other word, training. Is food prep an item of a source of confusion, or maybe something appreciated to get more training in that department? Like, could we use Alive for that? Is there like tips and tricks and things that I can specifically give you guys on your specific things? Is it food prep that's the problem?
I think for me, food prep is fine. Different, I guess, different ideas maybe for different choices maybe, but I think you've given those exchanges. I sometimes look at them and sometimes, don't make
Yeah.
use of them. So, but what I'm doing now is working.
Do you prep your food? Like, you work from home, so do you prep your food and then like just have it in prepped containers and then you just nuke it? Or is it like you just prepare it because you're home?
So I'll cook a bunch of chicken like on Sunday nights, and then I put it in one container, and then I just measure out every day how much I need. Same with like sweet potatoes. I just keep them in containers and measure out what I need every day. But I do prep as soon as I run out. I prep for a few days.
Yeah. It's probably pretty consistent with like when you run out, unless your family digs into the pot.
Yep, very true.
My family will dig into the pot when they want it. But what I've also noticed is like days that I don't prep, and I'm guilty of it too, I'll then be stuck with either a protein bar, protein shake or something, and I'm so not satisfied. It's just, I'm not. I don't feel fed. I don't feel like, I get crabby. And even though I had a protein bar and this and that, I just don't feel fed. And then I'm like, I'll just break down and I'll get my chicken, whether I'm on another support. I have, you guys, the support call situation in this house is ridiculous. Like, I'm constantly on some sort of a coaching call, which I love. It's what I need to feed myself right now. And staying plugged into them is what keeps me and what my goals that I have, very big goals, in the forefront of my mind. And that can sometimes run over my meal planning and prepping and stuff like that. So I've got to be very careful with it and just turn my video camera off and eat my meal that I had. So like, just really being consistent with that part of your process is going to forgive those days you don't go in and train. Your food is the most important part of this process. And then your mindset behind the training, and then just all of it, and as a holistic approach, is going to be really, really huge. Angie, you were going to say something on
I don't know.
food prep? You don't know?
I don't remember.
Talking about that free training. Do you think that training on the on training would be very helpful?
Yes, I will try to listen.
Yeah. And you guys, you don't have to be like, if you don't have to even have your cameras on, you don't have to, like, I love engaging with you guys and stuff like that, but I will always come with something to talk about, something to coach about, something to give you friendly reminders. If you are just not in an engaging mode, or you have to be, you can just put your camera off and listen, or hit the replay. Do you guys ever catch replay? I know Kathy did one time, because she's like, I think that's when I said I was going to be grandma. She's like, what?
Yeah, that is the one I caught.
Wow. I was like, oh yeah, I said that. Yeah, there's the thing. So I assume, Angie, you knew because you saw all the posts. Yes.
Yes.
Angie is, what are you to Reese? You're his second cousin?
What? Second cousin?
I think
Second cousin.
because Justin's your cousin.
Yeah.
His dad is your cousin.
Right. Because his grandma and my mom are sisters.
Yes.
We should be second.
Second cousins. Yeah.
I think. Yeah. Yeah. Because Justin and I are first cousins because our moms are sisters.
Yes, that's right. So you're the second cousins should be. So then what would this baby be? Your third?
A third cousin?
Wow, that is crazy. That is so wild. I want to hear some wins, Kathy. I didn't get to you on that, and I did not forget.
So wins. So I did get up at 6 a.m. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week. I didn't like it, but I did it. And it was really nice to have the evenings free. So
yes,
I think I'm gonna appreciate that more this summer to have some more free time in the evening, which will be really good. But I did have some questions about that because I am not sure about the food. So I get up in the morning, I have protein shake and my grapefruit, I work out.
Yep.
Then I have my rice afterward, and then I'm just having my pancakes. So I'm not eating the protein. And then I eat my meals throughout the day. But then because I was not working out in the evening and getting food, I just have that last protein shake about 8 o'clock-ish because I got hungry. So is that okay or no?
Okay, let me repeat what I think I heard. So you're getting up, you're having your protein shake and your grapefruit pre-workout, going to work out, then doing your post-workout shake and your rice.
No, I just have my pancakes, my breakfast.
Oh,
well, I have the rice. I skip the protein shake, and then I have my pancakes at about the same time. So I'm skipping one protein.
So then you're taking that protein shake and you're putting it in the evening?
Yeah, just because I got hungry.
Because you're hungry?
Yeah. Because I'm used to eating in the evening because I would work out in the evening, right?
You could do both, honey. You could totally, I would do both. That's just me. Like if you're getting up, let me think about this for a second. So you could do your pancakes pre-workout and add the grapefruit to it.
So I just don't have time for that in the morning. So I have to get up even earlier. I don't want to.
Are you preparing it in the morning too, or is it already prepped?
That I prepare in the morning. Yep, that I prepare every morning. So I've got all this stuff just in the cabinet there, and it's easy to just pull down and just make it.
Okay, so just this is I've played with this whole process because of just it really a lot of it depends on my day, but I love having those waffles or pancakes, whatever you make it to be, in the morning before I work out. And I know it's early. It takes me like 5 minutes to do that, really. And then I prepare my grapefruit beforehand. But what you could do, because grapefruit is it does not have a ton of carbs and it's got great fat burning qualities to it. Vitamin C, like grapefruit is the bomb as far as fruit is concerned. It's got so many great elements to it. So you could do a couple of things. You can do what you've been doing with the protein shake and the grapefruit, which is not probably as satisfying, and you probably burn through it super fast. If you feel like you're burning through it super fast, what I would do is then make the pancakes, eat the pancakes for your pre-workout, do a post-workout shake and rice, and then go right into what's your next meal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
Then go into your next meal. And then if you're like, I'm starving between my post-workout meal and my next meal, then just move your next meal up and then do the protein shake. You can add a protein shake, especially if it's like the 100 calories or so, low carb, 100 calorie, just isolate or something. You just need a little something. Do that, or do a cup of egg whites and scramble those up and eat those at night. Okay. Like protein is like no big deal.
Okay.
No big deal. Right. So I would do whatever fuels you the best, and then have the post protein workout shake and carb, and then because that's not real satisfying. It's not like a meal. That's just replenishing what you just did in the gym, right? Mm-hmm. So right. I usually am like if I'm hungry, within 20 to 30 minutes, I just have that next meal.
Okay.
And then just try and pace yourself that way. And then 3 hours later, and you might be like, okay, I'm having a meal in a weird time of the day right now, but I'm hungry. I'm gonna eat it. And then if it's close to like your dinner time with your family, you're probably gonna be ready for it.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
and then your last meal around what time do you eat dinner? 6 or 7?
Mhm.
Yeah. And then you might go to bed hungry. You're gonna see progress on this scale. And I know that sucks. I know that's not information you want, but your body's gonna acclimate to that and it's gonna go after your own body fat
Okay.
for that. But if you
Okay.
just gotta have something, egg whites or a protein shake. I would
Okay.
prefer egg whites because your body can identify egg whites as something it can utilize better than a protein shake.
Okay.
It's more
Alright.
pure, it's more clean.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Did
Okay.
I answer your question?
Yep.
Did I
Yep.
clear
I
that
do
up?
that. Second question is, so Tuesday I worked out in the morning and then I worked out again in the afternoon with that trainer. So do I need to do another pre-workout, post-workout meals around the second workout too?
So it just depends on the workout, you know? If it was like she kind of went easy on you and you're just getting the basics and laying the foundation and you're not like, have you ever felt kind of like this shakiness after a workout?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
glycogen is low.
Uh-huh.
Then have like, that's where you could put a grapefruit.
Okay. All right. Okay. So
The
I could have
key-
2 grapefruits in a day then? That's okay to do? Okay. All right.
Yeah, if you need it, but
Okay.
and you can do a post-workout shake then too. I mean, did you know you were gonna go in and you were gonna work out twice that day?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like situations like this, you're making the right choices, like post protein shake, especially if you feel like what you know you're gonna feel like after a workout. But if you didn't, then just go on about your day.
Okay.
Just have your next meal. You should be good.
Okay.
But then if you start getting into harder, because you work out longer than 30 minutes just on your
Oh, yeah.
phone. So
Right,
the
yeah,
30 minutes, was it really, would you call it a workout?
It's like half a workout is what it was, is what it felt like. I mean, it was harder, like you were increasing weights and stuff. And I think that she's just kind of figuring out what works best for
Yeah.
the two of us together. So definitely the second one was harder than the first. So I'm imagining it's going to get
Yeah,
harder.
good.
So
should.
yeah, which is good. That's what I'm paying her for.
Exactly.
So yeah, so I wasn't sure if we should do the post-workout, pre-workout thing again. with the
So,
second workout.
right. So what you could do is even just like a half a banana.
Okay.
Like if it just like play with it a little bit. Like, is that going to replenish my glycogen? Do a
Okay.
half a banana, see what 15 minutes feels like. Definitely do your post protein, post workout shake. Because those
Okay.
isolate shakes, those are like 100 calories,
Mhm.
and it's protein,
Okay.
and it's kind of an experimentation. You're working out twice in one day, which is awesome. Like you're stimulating your metabolism just that much more. And remember what we talked about, protein burns more calories than any other macro
right.
when it's digested.
Mhm.
So always, if you need something, go for the protein.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
egg whites is great one to
Okay.
go
All
after.
right. Yeah, I'm not aiming to work out twice a day, but if I'm gonna get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, I want to be consistent about that.
Yep.
And still work out. And then I don't want to work out Tuesday night and then work out again Wednesday morning. I'm just trying to always work out in the morning and just be consistent
Yeah,
about
it's
that.
not going to hurt anything if you
Yeah.
do it
An
or you
extra
don't
half
do it.
hour. Yeah.
If it's not
Okay.
that frequent, I wouldn't worry about it. If you don't get it in, you might be a little more sore
Yeah.
if you don't get those carbs in, but
Okay.
half a banana even would work well for that.
Okay.
Just enough to get that glycogen up, or a couple of rice cakes if you've got those, like just like 2 or 3 of those plain rice cakes. Or
Okay.
if you wanted to just do 2 rice cakes, this is also a great option, ladies, is like those caramel flavored rice cakes or
Oh,
those
yeah.
chocolate rice cakes.
Uh-huh.
2 of those is a great post-workout carb,
Okay. Okay.
and they're yummy.
All right.
They make me
Well,
happy.
More options is always good.
More options is always good. I mean, sometimes I tell people, like the gal that started with me, Amy, she's going to be doing a show in June. I was like, do you have a carb? Because she just worked out with me and we did a booty day. And I know I was shaking. She was just like, I have a protein shake. I don't have a carb. I'm like, go to that gas station and get one of those big Rice Krispie treats. Because what is that? Marshmallow and rice. Like that's, it's not the cleanest, but it's not the worst thing you could have. So it's a good like emergency glycogen replenisher. Bananas are better, but if we go down the scale of clean to not so clean, but they do the job. And if it's every once in a while, then it's no big deal. So,
Okay.
Angie,
Right.
you have any questions or anything?
I want to know what you'll put on your grapefruit to make it sweet.
Stevia.
Oh, some grapefruits are just not good.
My mom brought me a whole
I agree.
bag of Florida grapefruits and they're amazing. I know we don't get them. We don't get them like they do in those states where they grow them really yummy. You could, there is a container of no sugar added grapefruit already cut up that you can scoop out of that big container. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's just like a bunch of grapefruit inside.
Mhm.
And you don't have to peel it off and you don't have to worry about the bitter skin and stuff like that. Like I do that. If I just don't have, it's just a time saver as well. That will work. Do like a half a cup of that. I wouldn't mind that, or just whatever the serving is, it says on there. It's hard to gauge. Because I think it's sweetened with like a sucralose, which is not the greatest for you. And artificial sweeteners, your body, I cannot identify it as something it can turn into lean muscle or energy. So what does it do? If you have a lot of it and you have it daily and it's over and over and over again, it's going to turn it into body fat because it's where it harms your body the least because it doesn't know what it is. And that's what the problem with health food is, like the quote health food, those bars, like there's those kind bars and there's like all of these healthy snacks that are packaged, but they got all kinds of junk in them. And people are wondering why they're not losing weight when they're just doing that. And it's like, well, because it's not whole food. Your body can identify as something it can turn into muscle or energy. So it'll store it as fat. I even take out my Monster drinks towards the end of my preps because it'll make you hold water as well. And there's just all of the artificial preservatives and stuff like that can play a role. Some in more in some than others. But if we have room to dial it in more, that's where I would dial some things in as well. So awesome questions. I love the new experiences that you're giving yourself for getting up in the morning and seeing what changes your body does. I think I messaged you. I didn't see if you had put in your measurements in your document or not this week, or if you were waiting to do it.
I waited. I just did them this morning because
Okay.
I had ham on Sunday. And
Yeah, salty.
A whole bunch of water. So yeah.
Yeah.
Better weight and measurements today. So I'm sending the pictures actually right now. I'm going to put my measurements in.
Good. I will put them in the album. Wonderful. And keep sending those check-ins. No matter if you had a good week, bad week, or whatever, you're going to be grateful for it. And they are motivating. They really are. I mean, if I started doing progress pics, which I might even throw them as part of this group, I would be motivated to clean things up as well. It's just where we all are, and we got to know ourselves, and we got to be transparent, not just with ourselves, but also with your group and your coach and all of that, because it's what's going to help you get to where you want to go. Doing this on your own is not. Someone said something the other day on one of my support calls, and I'll let you go. She's like, I'm not ready to take the training wheels off yet. I was like, that's a really good analogy. I'm not ready to take the training wheels off yet. It's like, I don't know if I'll ever be ready to take the training wheels off on some things. Like I'm always going to want my coach, my business coach, which I have 2 elements of her. She's in 7 different avenues of support. She has a lot of life coaching. She's got like her own like counseling. She does just stuff she works through on her own that could be standing in the way of any kind of business stuff. Like pretty amazing, but she's super, super, super successful and amazing. So like, I'm like, okay, it's working for you. So I appreciate you guys, and I will be posting more about the training on Friday. Try and make it. If not, it'll be posted. You can watch it at your leisure. Go to the gym.
What are you gonna you're gonna post it? You're gonna post it on Friday, or you're gonna do
I
it
will
on
do
Friday?
it on Friday.
Okay.
Yeah, I will do it on Friday. I posted it in our group, and then I also posted about the post that you can make to enter you into a drawing for the $250 and tag me in it. You have a week to do that. You can do 2 entries. Well, you can get 2 entries by doing a video. But I know how some people feel about that. But you know, we're always pushing ourselves out of that comfort zone. And the best way for people to know what it's like to work with me is for the people who work with me to share their experience, you know. And so I just thought that that would be a really great opportunity for you guys all to, I don't know, put it towards your training and put it towards a really cute outfit or some meal prep cool things or just whatever. $250, I can think of a lot of things I could do with that. So that would be mucho appreciated. And then I will be doing my live tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. So just friendly reminders. Any other questions or anything I can support you on? Okay, I'll let you go.
Great.
Have a
Thanks.
wonderful day, ladies.